Perfect. Can you make me co-host?
I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, just right click on my name or something, the one that's in the meeting.
Got it. Here we go.
Perfect. And then I'll let people in.
Sweet. All right, I'm sure that people are going to stream in here late. It always happens, but I don't want to take too long. So Bobby, Carl, can you guys both see my Trading 101? Can you see that and still see me talking? Yeah? Thumbs
Yes.
up? Sweet, sweet. Okay. I'll open up this chat real quick so I can make sure that's... Alrighty, well, hey, I'm recording this because I'm going to make sure we get this out to people. So just want to start off by saying good on you if you're watching this, if you are here. And you kind of in for a little bit of treat. Can you guys hear the fan in the background, or is that fan not? Can you hear any background
No,
noise?
you're good.
That's awesome. That's good to know because I like being in the garage and it's a little hot. Great. Well, welcome to Trading 101. So let me ask a quick question real quick. If we'll give you 3 different options. If you don't know diddly squat about anything between stocks and crypto or trading, put a 1. If you think you know a little bit, you've played a little bit, you know enough to be dangerous, put a 2. And if you are experienced, please put a 3. Start off there. A 1, you don't know diddly squat. A 2, you know enough to be dangerous. 3, feel like you're kind of an average trader, or you know a good bit. Okay, sweet. All right. Cool. Well, welcome to Trading 101. How can I make money in any market, in anywhere, any shape, form, fashion, any place, anytime? A lot of people say, "Oh, I got in when the market was good." Well, how did people know to get in the market was good, right? By luck, by chance? Did they study? We're going to kind of take some of the mystery out of all of this, and that's really my hope for today. So a little bit about myself, and I'm an absolute lover of Jesus. Been married for going on 13 years here soon, almost. I got 5 kids, 4 girls, 1 boy. My oldest just turned 18 yesterday. Goodness gracious, what is going on? That's just crazy. And I've got just over 20 years of combined reserve and active duty time served. And so I am a veteran. I do real estate most of my time. That's what I do. If I'm not doing that, I am trading. I'm moving, shaking, I'm making things happen. But most of all, I do believe that I've been called to be a teacher. And so that's where this is kind of coming from, and me wanting to do this and wanting to make this happen. And so you say, well, Andrew, you know, why'd you get into trading, or what is all this? To be honest, guys, I always wanted to do it. I always felt like it was something I wanted to get into, but it was just right over my head, not something that I thought I was smart enough to do, something I thought that you needed to have, you know, I don't know, some kind of degree in economics, right? These are the guys that are talking about what's happening in the stock market and all those different things. And so, you know, I just felt like I always wanted to, but it was just too much, right? Too much to study, too much to look into, but it always piqued my interest. I was always like, man, I want to know what that means. I want to know what that means. I want to know when the news comes on, I want to know what they're talking about. You know, I wanted to feel and be educated in these things and have an idea of what was going on. But for the most part, you know, I had what was called a TSP while I was active duty. It's kind of like a 401k. You just dump money into there and you leave it in the hands of other people. And, you know, I was just told, you just, hey, you know, you set it and forget it, like that old rotisserie chicken. You remember that? You know, set it and forget it, right? The reality is, you know, that's how some people become millionaires, and that's how some people get hurt. Back in 2008, 9, 10, there were a lot of people who completely lost their entire life savings. Their whole retirement was gone. And a lot of it was because, you know, they trusted a system that told them that they'd be okay, right? They listened to the experts. The experts told them, hey, just do this. And so I just always wanted to know a little bit. Never felt I was smart enough. Here we are, 18 months later, and what I can say is, man, I could sit here and argue with some of the best. So the before and after. 18 months ago, I was a one. I didn't know diddly squat about diddly squat. Didn't know where to start. And to be completely honest, I'm still in a money mastermind. I'm in a couple different things, just of course, trying to get ahead, trying to find out how to, break the glass ceiling of creating wealth for me, my family, my generation, the generations right after me, my children, just want to pass down something. I've seen families completely, not be able to have anything to pass on. And I've seen families that have just created so much to be able to do so much for the world and for their family. And I've been on this journey of trial and error to figure that out. And so I had a buddy of mine in this mastermind who was like, hey, I don't know if you knew about this, but they've been pushing this guy who has this system that helps read the stock market, and I think you'd be really good at it. I think you'd really like it. And I looked at him and I was like, huh. I said, yeah, I would be interested. And he says, cool. He says, well, I'll show you. Come over the house. And he showed me, and I was like, whoa. And so 18 months ago, I didn't know anything about anything, and honestly, learning to predict the market, to predict things that are going to happen by using this system. Obviously, I'm not predicting, I'm just learning to read it through the system, right? And it's kind of crazy because I'm not an economist. I don't have these tools, I don't have the degrees, but I'll tell you, you can either you're along for the ride no matter what, right? It doesn't matter whether you get involved in this war or not, right? I always tell people like, hey, you can try and sit on the fence and act like, well, that's not really my place, or I don't want to get involved in that, or it's better I don't know because if I don't know about it, then it doesn't affect me, and that's quite the opposite. It will affect you, and it will become. It's already your problem. It's your problem because of inflation. It's your problem because we are, you know, we are pawns in the game, right? And so I always tell people you can either joyride in it, or you can sit in the back seat. But you're still in the ride. You can either take the steering wheel, or you can let somebody else drive. And for most of us, we are letting the powers that be drive, and we are just along for it. And that's what I'm not okay with. Okay, and so why do so many people fail, and why do so many people get scared of doing this? Honestly, they're flying blind, right? I always talk to people in the tell, oh yeah, I trade. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. What do you do? They're like, oh, I got a Robinhood app. I'm like, great. Like, what do you use? And they're like, I mean, I just click buy and I click sell, and sometimes I win and sometimes I don't. But I don't really understand what I'm doing. I'm like, that's called gambling, right? That's straight up what it is, right? Click a button, hope something happens. If it does, you see it go in the green, then you're out, right? But that's not trading. That's gambling, straight up. Okay. So I want you guys to know something that a lot of people fail in this game because they have impatience or they have fear of missing out. They don't have their emotions in check. But the creator of the system that I use, his name is Kevin Grego, and his wife said, patience is the love language of trading. And man, couldn't be any truer, and very well said. And she's awesome and amazing. Shout out to Kevin, Bree, and Keith. Those are all the people that pretty much created the algorithms. So Kevin did. Bree is his backbone, and Keith is a master coder who took his brain and made it all work. Okay, who is this for? All right, let's see if this works here. Anybody here seen The Matrix? Come on now, don't quit on me now. Don't give me an ad, please.
Or do you want to know what it is? The matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window. or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. What truth? That you are a slave here. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind. Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Was that skipping for you guys, or was that playing through?
It was skipping a little bit, but it was mainly like we could hear what they were saying, but the actions weren't matching up.
Yeah. I think me just being in the garage, the internet's not as fast as it should be, so that's okay. So let me ask this. If you've seen that and you understand what that is, once you drop a 1 in there, if you've never seen it, drop a 2. And the reason why I bring this this movie and this clip up is because you know, all I'm offering right here in this presentation is the truth, right? Nothing more, nothing less. But I'm going to show you how this entire setup of what is happening across the globe, okay, in regards to everything that is traded, stocks, crypto, whatever you want to talk about, it's a matrix, okay? It's completely 110% manipulated, moved, controlled. It is not a free moving system. Okay, so who is this for? It's for the person that's really, you're willing to see how far the rabbit hole goes. Okay, you're willing to sit here and say, hey, look, I want to know what's going on in this matrix. Okay, I want to be a part of that. Or you can take the blue pill and you can say, you know what, I'm good. I'm gonna go back to my life. I'm gonna just, you know, put my head down and keep going, right? So who is this for? Hey, you don't know a dang thing about a dang thing, right? You don't know anything about anything. I want you to know I didn't know anything about anything. Maybe you've played a little bit, but you still feel lost. Maybe you're an avid trader. You've been trading for 10, 15 years. I just talked to a trader the other day. He was actually helping me with some stuff on the platform that I use. And I asked him, I said, do you trade? Or are you just, you know, like a software tech guy? And he says, no, I trade. He says, I've been trading for 10 years now. And I said, okay. I said, you know, how long did it take you to kind of, you know, find your groove? And he said, it took me about 3 to 5 years. He says, I've been pretty consistent over the last, you know, few years here. And I said, oh, great. I said, that's pretty cool. I'm like, what do you trade in terms of saying, you know, what do you trade and what symbols and you know, stocks or anything like that? And he said, I only trade the NASDAQ. And I was like, oh, okay. Why do you only trade one? And he said, well, because that's the one I've studied. And so it's the only one I know. And he says, and once you kind of know one, you just stick with that. And I said, oh yeah, I mean, for sure, that makes that makes sense. But yeah, and I think he kind of heard, and he's like, well, what do you trade? And I said, I mean, I really trade, the big three, um, but I trade some other stuff. And I said, um, but I don't really, I don't know them like you probably know the one, but I have a system that shows me each and every one of them. And he asked me to show him, and so essentially I showed him. It's a guy that's been trading 10 times the amount of time that I have, and as I showed him, he was flipping out. Okay, so if you are an avid trader, you don't know a dang thing about a dang thing, you know enough just to be dangerous. This is for you. Okay, it just depends. If you were told to stay humble, keep your head down, don't live too big, don't get too big, don't what's that movie Scarface? I think he talks about you know you got to just you got to just keep your head down and fly straight, right? Not okay with that. I feel like it's a big lie. Or maybe you're curious about being the opposite, about building wealth, about being that person that's in your church that hears that there's a need, and you've got the money to be able to do it. The reality is, as I heard Grant Cardone say one time, you've got two choices. You can be the person in the pew that can't do anything about anything for anybody else's needs, or you can be the person in the pew that's going to write the whole check. And I want to be the latter. I want to be the person that is going to be able to do the things that God has put on my heart. And hey, you want to go buy a Porsche? You want to go buy a Corvette? You want to go buy a house on the beach in Florida on white sands? No, there's nothing wrong with that. These are all creations of God, and I think He's called us to enjoy them. But it's those people that are making things shake and move in this world. Okay, the ones that are sitting idly around and just kind of barely making it by. Uh, yes, we do work and we make things happen. I'm not saying we don't, but what I'm saying is we can do more if you decide to. Okay. All right. Come on. All right. So Andrew, what is trading? What's the definition? Listen, depends on your strategy. Okay, but the reality is whether you're buying stocks or you're day trading or you're buying crypto or whatever you're doing, you're essentially betting that whatever you're buying or selling is going to go up or down. Okay. Has anybody seen The Big Short? Put a one if you've seen The Big Short. Put a two if you haven't. Great movie. Essentially, there's three guys, a few guys that get together, and they're looking at what to take bets on, and they just went through studying and realized that the housing market was going to crash, and they shorted the market. That's why it's called a short. So when you short the market, or you short a stock, or you short anything, what you're saying is you believe that the value of that thing is going to go down. They call it short because it's a short-term thing. Um, when you buy something or you expect it to go up, okay, you are betting that it's going to go up. That's called a long position. And so it's called the Big Short because they made millions upon millions betting that the housing market was going to crash. And sure enough, it did. Okay. And so all that being said, hey, what can I trade using this system? Stocks, Tesla, Nvidia, Meta, everything. Like it doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter what you want to essentially. So if you're saying, hey, Andrew, I really don't have time to sit here and look at charts like you do. I've got a 9 to 5. I like my 9 to 5. I just want to buy stocks when they're in a good place. Great, it can read stocks. Hey, Andrew, I want to day trade or I want to be more involved throughout the day to day. You can do other things, but what does it read? It reads everything. Okay, I've been playing gold since it was about $2,400 an ounce, and now here we are at $3,400 an ounce, I think today. And so it doesn't matter what you want to read or what you want it to look at. It's going to do all those things. People right now are head over heels on crypto. Uh, how is somebody like me or you supposed to know what to get into and when to get into it? Okay, all I keep hearing all these guys on YouTube just saying, XRP is the next thing. This is the next thing. This is the next thing. Okay, so when do I get in? Do I just take every extra dollar I have and just buy as much of whatever in hopes that it goes up and it's just going to be there. Because that's what a lot of people are doing, right? People with their 401ks, I mean, they're just dumping money inside of a fund. And that fund, because I've had 401ks, I've had IRAs, I've had a TSP, they're just going along and just kind of putting this money, and you're just in it for the long haul, right? And so, you know, foreign exchange. Maybe you guys didn't know, but the foreign exchange rate, right? So the dollar to the Mexican peso, right? The euro to the US dollar, the Great British pound to the Japanese yen. All of these are Forex pairs. Just in Forex alone, right? Just trading the difference of the value between the two is a $7.2 trillion a day. I actually got it the other day. It was 7.2 to 7.6 trillion per day is made and lost in this world every single day just on Forex. That's not on anything else. So who is making that, right? Who's doing that? Well, guess what? The people that are dangling the puppet strings, okay? Again, this is not something that is left up to chance, okay? So what can this system read? How do we read it? What can it read? Hey, like Cat Williams said, everything, okay? If it's got a long enough history, we can essentially place this system onto and so I like to explain it. The system is a lens and a glass and a pair of glasses, okay? And we put that onto a frame of the frame of the glasses, and then it tells us what's going on. So it doesn't matter what you want to do or how you want to do it. So Andrew, great. I get what you're saying. I can read anything, but how does this apply to me if I want to become a day trader? How does this apply to me if I want to be more passive? How does this apply to me if I really want to more set and forget my investments, but I at least want to know when to get in when it's low, so I'm not buying at the highest, right? Because if you bought something at $100 and then it drops to $40 the next day, okay, and it goes back up to $100, but you didn't get in when it was at $40, right? Did you lose money? Put a 1 for yes or a 2 for no. You bought some at 100. The next day it went down to $40. And on day 3, it goes back up to 100. Did you lose, yes or no? Put a 1 for yes and a 2 for no. Hey, we got to know. We got to know. We got to know. Okay, can I beg to differ? Because here's the thing. If you bought it $100, it went down to 40 the next day, right? And then it goes back up to 100 on day 3. Sure, you didn't lose any money on your investment, but what did you lose in that $60 differential that you could have made, right? That's a 60% return, right? Had you known that it went down but was going to go back up, maybe you could have held out on that purchase. Or maybe you would have said, hey, you know what? There's nothing I can do about that one that I bought at 100, but I'm definitely going to double down on this position. I'm going to get in more, and I'm going to make a 60% return. Because at that 2 days that moved, it did absolutely nothing. You guys understand what I'm saying, right? Remember, it's not what you sell at, it's what you buy at. Okay, Carla's saying no. All right. If I'm going to buy something today that maybe I can hold off until tomorrow because I understand that the value is going to dip, right? Okay. Why buy today at 100 when I can buy it tomorrow at 40? On day 3, it goes back up to 100. Maybe I didn't actually lose money, but I definitely lost out on the opportunity, right, at making a 60% return. See, too many times we actually look at saying, well, I didn't lose anything. Well, if you missed out on an opportunity, you did. It's called an opportunity cost, right? And so sometimes we miss out. And so this is what I mean by, hey, if you want to be a long-term investor, you don't want to day trade or you don't have the time or whatever it may be, this system can at least tell you, hey, it might be too late for the investment that you made a year ago, but the one that's happening right now or the one that's going to be coming because you're using the system to tell you, hey, it's already at the top, it's got to come back down for a reset, so don't be buying right now, right? This system can tell you when something's pretty much peaked out and needs a reset. That's where you make your money. Remember, in this world, we make our money on the purchase, not on the sell. Does that all make sense? Get thumbs up once. But you didn't know it was going to go up? Yeah, we do. System tells us that, right? And the system can also tell us when it's tapped out, when it's got to retrace. Okay. So the system will tell us, hey, you know what? It's been going up a little too long. It needs to come back down for a reset. Okay. Remember, nothing can ever just go up forever. Why not? Because there's too much money in dropping it. Who's the people that's buying up when things drop? Well, the people with money. Who's the people that lost? All the people that bought at the top, right? Because let me tell you, all the everyday Americans that are buying all this Bitcoin and Litecoin and Ethereum, or buying stocks because some guy on YouTube told them to, right? They buy at 100 and the next day it drops at 40. You think they're sad about losing 60 bucks in one day? Sure. And you know what they say? Oh man, I can't take it. I'm out. I'm out. Let me just get my $40 back. So they just lost 60% of their portfolio. Those people are not holding it when they see that. Okay, but the system can tell you, hey, calm down, relax. Maybe you should double down here because look at what you see in front of you. Now I'm talking about 1 or 2 days, right? But for the most part, these things happen over months, over days, over weeks. Okay, so it doesn't matter what we're doing. Again, back to what we're talking about. How can I use this system? Hey, maybe you just want to casually buy stocks and ride these things out, right? Knowing that long-term companies are going to do well. Well, great. Then let's help you figure out when to get in. So you're not just buying stocks at willy-nilly, right? Hey, Andrew, I want to be a trader. I want to trade futures. I want to do something that is more active, right? I want to do this full time. I want to, hey, I'm retired. Hey, I work from home. I can have a computer next to me, which is what I do, right? I'm on the computers all the time. So I've got my real estate stuff going on one computer and screen, and I've got everything else going on the other. And I'm just jumping, jiving, moving, grooving. Okay, I'm blessed to be able to do that. Okay, maybe you want to do things that happen over days, where you're taking a trade and you're not looking at it for a day, 3, 4, 5 days, a week, 2 weeks. Okay, those are what we call right? Not intraday, but weekly and daily trades. Okay, that's more of also what we talk about when we get into options, right? Options are saying, hey, I think a stock is going to go to a certain place up or to a certain place down by a certain date. Okay, when I play options, I really don't lose unless I don't take my money on time, which that's always been my biggest issue, folks. I'll just be honest with you. Okay, I've gotten so used to seeing things run and get so big that taking money has become my biggest issue. Okay, most of you guys be like, oh my gosh, Andrew, I can't believe you wouldn't take that. So yeah, well, you know, that's what happens when you get greedy, right? We have a saying, greedy pigs get led to slaughter. Okay. Last one, crypto, short and long holds. Okay, crypto is not going away. The powers that be are going to these, you know, different currencies and things that they're changing up the game. Crypto is going to come in. It's here to stay. And so, when do you get in? You know, Bitcoin was just down in the 80s, 80,000 a coin not too long ago. Guess where it's back up today? About 120 a coin or so. Our system was calling that it was going to go back up to 120. That's what I mean by if you bought at 120 when it was 120 and then it went down to 80 and you got scared and got out, right? Because you wanted to recoup some of your losses and at least just make out with some of it and then went right back up to 120. Wouldn't you be pretty pissed to know you just lost 40K? Yeah, I'd be pretty pissed, right? Even more so, I'd be pretty pissed to say, okay, hey, it's okay. I bought one Bitcoin at $120,000, but man, I should have bought one at 80, right? And so these are the things that we don't know because we just don't know, right? And a lot of the world will tell you, well, you don't know what it's going to do. It's not predictable. Hogwash. It's absolutely predictable, okay? So it doesn't matter whether you want to do the everyday trading the minutes, trading the hours, or you want to trade over the next months, days, years, long-term stuff. The system can help you out. Okay. All right. Why do most people not start? I think it's too complicated. It's too risky. I don't have time. I don't know who to trust. I have no idea where to even start. Andrew, how do I even get started? I don't even know what to do. Okay, we think it's too complicated, not like you think. Okay, it's too risky. Listen, I just brought somebody in about 2 weeks ago, and I'm teaching them how to practice before they even use real money. And I told them that when they're ready to get into, when they feel they've really gotten a good feel for a system, that person is getting into the actual day trading. So they want to do things that happen throughout the day. I'm going to show them how to use other people's money and be able to not put a lot of their own capital at risk, if really any. Okay. If you're saying you don't have time, look, we all make time for things that matter to us. You do have time. Okay. Get off the Netflix. Okay. Get off the Instagram. Get off the scrolling. Learn something. Learn a new skill. Get a new tools. Okay. If it's important to you, you'll figure it out. Okay. You don't know how to trust or who to trust. Listen, I use this system and I'm about to show you. Okay. You have no idea where to start. Hey, I got it. Okay. I can help you with that. This is where I'm actually really excited because I was that person. I didn't know anything about anything. Okay. This was not something that was passed on to me by my dad or by, I had a friend that was a few steps ahead of me. Okay. I'm so grateful for him and the way that he brought me along. And I want to do that for other people. Okay. So how would I start, Andrew? Well, you'd have to get the system, right? So you buy the safety trade system, which is the system I use. It's called the safety trade system, and probably need to turn that lowercase t to a capital because it is called the safety trade system. So TSTS for short. That is the lens. Okay. Then there's another system that's called TradingView. TradingView is a separate entity. It's what we place our lens on. So again, back to the analogy of a pair of glasses, right? I don't have my glasses here, but you have the frame of the glasses and you have different lenses, and lenses come in different colors. They come reading lenses, right? Sunglass lenses. Okay, that's all it is. The safety trade system is the lens. Okay. Once you sign up, which I would help you do and walk you through it, walk you through getting your trading view and all that stuff set up. I am kind of creating a little bit of a kind of a course to help people walk through it. So I don't need to be online with somebody every single time to get them through it. But you would get a one-on-one class with the guy who created it. Okay, so he literally teaches you how to use and read the system. Okay. Step two, you pick a strategy. Most of you would probably already know what your strategy is going to be based on your time, right? What can you actually commit to? What's going to work for you? Okay, and then you're going to paper trade. Paper trade means not using real money, but paper trading and doing stuff over pretty much over time, being able to practice and practice the real market. It's not like a video game where it's not real. You would actually be trading the real market, but you would be doing it with a demo account, which means that you're learning how to operate the system, learn with fake money in a real market. Okay. Step three, build your confidence. Listen, confidence in yourself. This game is 90% mental. But remember that as prepared as you are is the part that is most important, right? We all agree about that. And most people say that you rise to the occasion. No, we don't. We rise to our level of training. Okay, and then from there, again, walking people through how to use open broker accounts, using other systems, whatever it may be. Okay. Step four, dedicate time to studying. Follow the rules. There are rules in this system. This system is very laid out on what to do, what not to do, how to win. Okay. That's why it's called the safety trade system. There are so many rules that are in place and things that you learn to be able to say, hey, I know that this trade is not ready, or hey, it's still going to go down a little bit. I need to wait a little bit longer. So following the rules, learning from your wins and losses. I'm not going to promise you that you would never lose. What I'm telling you is that you can find consistency and win more than you will lose. And there are some people in our system that don't take losses. A guy just posted the other day, hey, 15 wins with 0 losses. This is incredible and unbelievable, right? Teach your kids, teach your family, teach your friends. Listen, this is not anything I thought I would ever be in, okay? But I realize that I can't just keep this cooped up in a secret to myself. It's not fair, okay? Step 5, my favorite step, make money, bless others, make money, honor God, complete your purpose. You're more than your job and what you do. It's who you are and it's who you serve. Our life is not our home, okay? All right, I'm going to pull up the system. I want to show you guys the system a little bit. And then I'll show you guys what the cost is. How's that sound? Sound good? Everybody still with me? All righty. Cool, cool, cool. All right. So I've got something that I like to play, which is it's called the US Wall Street 30, or what most people would know as the Dow Jones. But I want to give people here an opportunity to pick something for me to pull up, and I will show you how this system works. And because obviously you're picking whatever the stock or the whatever you want it to be, there's no way that I could have prepared for this. So Bobby, you're one of the guests here. I want you to pick something. I don't care. It just has to be a traded company. It could be a crypto. It could be whatever. Put it in the chat. You still typing there, Bobby? You can unmute and tell me if you want once you go to unmute.
It's not letting me type. Hold on.
It's okay. If you could pick something, right, that you want me to look up and show you that the system works on anything, what comes first to your mind?
Rainmaker is a company that I've heard of recently.
This one right here?
Uh,
Rainmaker Worldwide, Rainmaker Systems. Obviously,
yes.
I don't know the difference between these, so let's see, Rainmaker Worldwide. Let's check this one because this one has its own little emblem. So
Yeah.
I think that's going to be more it. Okay, so there we go. All right. I don't know anything about Rainmaker. Never looked it up. Don't know anything about it. So I really couldn't have prepared for this, right?
Right.
Okay. All right. Now, this is our system. Okay. Now, when you pull up a normal, when you look at your, if you looked at your portfolio, right? And you were looking, you pulled up some chart or something, right? If you pulled up some charts, a Rainmaker, this is what it looks like, correct? This is all we see.
Okay.
We don't see nothing. Okay. We just see a bunch of these little what people call candles, and there's red and there's green. Sometimes people have, it just looks like a graph and it goes up and down, right? And some people will come in and they draw these lines, right? And they'll say, oh, look. Okay, see, it hit this area, it went up, it hit it again, and so I bought because it hit this area of resistance. They come up with all these different caveats and things that they come up with on how they read things, right? Okay. This system that you see, this black and white, this whole thing that I'm showing you, this is TradingView, okay? This is the frame of the glasses. As I walk through this, okay, I'm now putting on the lens, okay? This is a lens. It's a part of our lens. And this is a part of our lens, okay? This is our OG system. This is the original safety trade system, okay? Now, this system, let's see, Rainmaker has been trading for a while. Let's see, okay. All right. So it looks like Rainmaker's been up and down for a little while, kind of did its own thing. It was actually really big. It was doing pretty good back in, was that what, $1 a share, pushed up, and it's just kind of been dwindling down. Didn't really do anything in 2023. Okay, kind of just sat around. But I want you guys to see something. You guys see how this part right here. Okay, so this is what I tell my kids. Okay, this is what we call the BS detector. Now, the BS detector, okay, this piece as well as these lines and all this stuff here, okay, see like these lines here and this right here, that's all a part of our OG system, okay? Now, Can you guys see right here? Price goes up, shoots up on this date, right? Kind of comes up and around, comes back down below this little channel right here. Let's see that channel. It's kind of like a yellow and red. And as it's going down, it's going down, it's going down, and all of a sudden it shoots back up. Do you see that piece? Is that big enough for everybody to see?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. So let's go to this part, the BS detector, okay, which is one of the it's one of the secret sauces of the system, and it's part of the OG system. So if I tell you, when I give you guys pricing and I tell you about the OG system, this is the piece that you get. All right. Let's say you've been feeling really good about yourself. So you're nice, high and green, right? You guys see all this green right here? Green, green,
Yeah.
green, okay? And all of a sudden, you wake up one day and you are just not feeling it. You are kind of feeling a little bit down on yourself. Maybe yesterday wasn't, it was a good day yesterday. You didn't get good sleep. Maybe you got some kind of bad news. Maybe you're having a bad hair day or no hair at all, right? In some people's cases, right? And you're just not feeling good about yourself. Now, if you had 3 good friends and you're feeling down and you go and you're around your 3 good friends and they're like, hey, Bobby, what a long face, man. You okay? And you're like, oh, man, I just kind of got some bad news this morning. I wasn't feeling too good. Some things happened and man, I don't know. I just wasn't feeling too good. And they're like, hey, don't worry about it. You're going to be all right. You already know. God's got your back. You'll figure it out, right? Do you think you're going to continue to stay in the dump or do you think you're going to feel better after getting some help?
Yeah, feel better.
You're going to feel better, right? All right.
Yeah.
And what happened to price? Did price keep going down or did price go up?
It's gonna come back up.
It went up. And it went up by a lot. Now, the place that you would have entered a trade or you would have bought this stock, this would have been your earliest place right here where this orange line is. And this would have been your last resort where the channel is. Okay. So feeling really bad about yourself, feeling really down. You're like, I just don't feel good. And you're like, you know what? My buddies helped me out. I'm on the up and up and I'm feeling really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
You guys see that percentage that it did right here?
Yeah.
That's 115% return from the time you got in, which was on a Thursday, November 9th at 8:30 a.m. Okay. And you wouldn't have gotten out of that trade, or you could have held it until somewhere around here, which would have been the next day, right? So one day was 115% return on investment. But how did you know it was going to do that? How are we supposed to know that Rainmaker, something I've never looked at before in my life, ever, is going to do that? Well, did the system tell us it? Yes or no? Sure did.
Mm.
Right? Here's another one. Okay. Now this one you'd say, well, Andrew, this started to turn red and that was red. I understand that. This is why we don't ever look at one time frame. We always look at 2 time frames. Okay. Goes back again right here. Where's that at? This one was starting to turn here. Right here. So this would still be a good buy according to our rules. This and this, okay, right here would still been a good buy. Okay, so even though it went up, we made some money, it kind of came back down. Look, it did another one. Could have got in again. You see that? Green, green, got your 3 good friends, got some red. Okay. See what percentage that was. 39% return. And that's another day right there. And mind you, you're playing small, right? This is 5 cents a share to 7 cents a share. But the percentages is what matter, right? So then you get in again. And you're like, hey, man, it's calling for another buy. It's calling another one. According to our rules, we would have got in again. At this point, this thing went up 216%. So when people say, well, I don't want to day trade, I want to do things over the long term. These are the things that are the wealth makers. Okay. Now this was a short-term buy. Okay. But Bobby, pick something else real quick. Pick up something else that comes to your mind. Pick up, I don't know. Be next thing.
Mm, how about SpaceX?
SpaceX. Nice. All right. Oh, they got a SpaceX coin. Jeez. Company level ETF. I got to make sure I pull the right one, otherwise it's not gonna. It won't have the data on it. So let me see. Did I spell SpaceX right?
I don't think so. SPACE space X.
All right, I might be messing this up, or maybe SpaceX, but whatever this, it didn't have enough on there. Let's I'm gonna pick one real quick.
Okay.
I was just there the other day. Who doesn't like Target?
Me.
My wife likes Target. My daughter likes Target. I like Target. I don't like their prices. Let the system load up. Next time I do one of these, I'm going to have to do this inside. I think running Zoom and running the system and everything, I think it's too much for too hot for my Wi-Fi to handle in the garage. Okay. All right. You want to buy stock or you want to play stuff. What do we see here again? Did I have time to prepare and read all these charts? Did I come in here and draw a bunch of lines and do a bunch of studying on who is the CEO of Target? Did I do any of that, or did I just pick a symbol and go?
Yeah.
Just picked it and went, right? Picked it and went. This was a weekly buy. This is a weekly chart. So every single one of these little red and green little candles you see right here is a whole week. Okay. So back in 2020, in April, Target took a little dump here, went below our channel, and the BS detector called and said, nope, that price is way too low. And that price being lower than that channel is BS. This is why this is literally called the BS detector. Look at BS detector. It's calling it. You remember playing that card game, BS? Anybody ever played that? Right?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So in 2020, had you had the system, you would have gotten in at Target at $104, and it would have went as high as $261 a share. That would have been $157 a share change from 2020 to 2021. Imagine holding that for a year and making, what was that? What was that percentage? Did you see that percentage again?
150.
150%. Now, let's look at Target today. Look at that. Oh man, look at what are they doing here? Just dropped 2022 in May. And it's been going and it's been going and everything went red, right? Now, the same way that the system works and tells you where to buy, it also tells you when it needs to sell. Now, let's say you weren't feeling too hot one day and you wake up and you're feeling real good about yourself. You got new clothes on, you got some new kicks, maybe you went and got a car wash, or maybe you had a good date, whatever. Maybe you had a good day, right? And you're feeling really good about yourself. But you got 3 friends that are pretty negative about everything, right? And they see you high up on your horse. If they start sitting there feeding you all kind of negativity, you gonna stay high up on that horse, or you gonna start feeling a little bit bad?
Probably gonna let them get to you.
What's that?
You're probably gonna let them get to you.
Probably, right? Now, some of us, maybe we can brush it off, but for the most part, most people, right? I mean, imagine trying to swim. This is how Kevin says it. Imagine trying to swim and having three people dragging you down. Can you stay afloat with three people pulling you from underneath the water?
No.
No, it's pretty much impossible. Okay. Now this one, these went green. Okay. But look what happens here. Does price go up or does price go down? Goes down.
Mhm.
Comes back up a little bit and it comes all the way back down to $103 a share. Okay. Now you would probably be saying, well, Andrew, dang, is Target in the dumps? Is Target not doing good? What's wrong with them? Nope. I mean, I wouldn't buy right now, or I wouldn't have bought then. But what do you see happening here? What do you think is going to start being created right here? A little red thing. So what I'm telling you is that Target is in a 3-month buy, and it is going to go up $150 a share, and it will surpass $268. The guy who created our system is calling this. This is one of the things he's calling. He's calling Nike. He's calling a bunch of other things out, saying that they are in long-term buys. So while everybody else around is freaking out like Target's going down in the dumping, going to go bankrupt, he's telling us, you guys better buy. You better buy this stock. You better buy it. You better hold it, because that thing is in a 3-month buy. Look at, do you see how this thing lily pads? I always like to tell people, do you see how it it's like Frogger. Look at, you see the frog hopping along? See how it stays on top? And then it had a big leap. It's about to have a big leap again. And the system tells us when to and when not to get in. Okay? Now, you'd say, well, Andrew, when do I know when it's ready and when to get in? How do I know that, it's going to go up? Okay? All right. Let's find us something. We're gonna have to go back a little bit because Target's been in a sell, right? So it's been in this going down for the last little while. All right. Now that we all understand, now everybody, is this a buy or is this a sell? Are we expecting this price to go down or up with what we just saw right here? Right? You're drowning and you got 3 friends pushing you up. Are you going to drown or are you going to come back up to the surface? You can come back up to the surface, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But Andrew, how do we know when it's time and when it's ready? Do you see this thing right here? This is called the sniper. Okay. This is an additional add-on. So I want to make sure I explain this. This is your OG system. This is the sniper. Okay. Look what happens every time that pink crosses the blue. You see what happens right here? Pink crosses the blue, get in, bam. Do we all see it? Yes? Look at this one. Pink crosses the blue, okay? Pink crossed the blue right here. Bam. Look when you would have got in. You would have rode that one here. That's when you see the pink cross the blue? Everybody see it?
Yeah.
So you see it, you're like, hey, mind you, this is on the weekly. So it means that everything would have ended at the end of a week on a Friday, and you would have looked at your chart and said, hey, that pink just crossed the blue on the weekly. Hey, I'm going to put an order in for Target. I'm putting in an order. And you would have made 24%. It retreated back down to where you got in and then went up again. It went down and went up again. And look, but every time that pink was low, look at, was the pink low right here on 20 May 2019? Yep. And what happened? It went up. Did pink come down and go low? Yep. On 12 August? Yep. And where'd it go? Up. And it just kept going and going and going and going. And the same thing happens when we do selling. So when things are selling off. So right now, Target's kind of in the dump. Yes, we're not doing good. Target, okay, because it's going down, just creating what we call a bigger buy, right? So it's giving us, the little people, the opportunity to say, hey, I know Target looks like it's not doing good, but Target's about to explode in the next year to 2 years. The system is calling it. It's telling us things just don't go down forever. And we have the sniper to tell us when to get in. Look at this one. okay? Trying to float, trying to float. We got 3 friends that are trying to drag us down, right? Did we go down? Yes, we did. Okay, and look what happened. Do you see here? Look at all these on top. What happened when pink crossed the blue? Did prices keep going up or did it go down?
Yeah.
It kept going down and it went hard. As soon as that pink
Oh,
crossed that blue, so we would have taken a sell, we could have said, nope, I know target's going down. That thing went down, you could have made 20% there on a sell, 26%, you could have held that all the way down to here for a 47%. That's called the short. So when I tell you it doesn't matter what symbol, it doesn't matter what market, it doesn't matter up or down, it literally is any symbol, any company, any up or down, any market. Okay, listen to me, folks. The market is about to do a 20 to 40% retreat. It has to. The NASDAQ, the S&P, the Dow Jones, it cannot keep going up the way it is. It's going to keep going up for a little bit, but it has to do a reset, okay? These things like to play around their channels. They can't get too far for forever. You see how this one went up, went up, went up, it kind of retreated, went up, went up. What did it do here? It had to come back down and touch its channel. You see that? You see the channel right there? It had to. It cannot keep going up. Then what did it do here? It went up and it came back down and touched. Came back up and then it really touched. And then it started to turn. You guys see that? Well, let me show you where all of America's money is at. I'm going to show you where America's money, the predominantly of all of our 401ks, the predominant of everybody's IRAs, all the money that you have in with your financial advisor. Mind you, I'm telling you, I'm not a financial advisor, okay? I want to make that very, very clear. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just showing you what I'm looking at. Now, the majority of America's money is in these 3 things right now, okay? All right? The S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100, and the Dow Jones, okay? This is where a lot of your money is being placed, okay? Now, we've been going for a long time. So back to what I was saying, right? Look, did we see a buy here? Yes, we see a buy. What happens? It takes off. Well, this is in 2020. What happened in 2020? What happened in March, May, June of 2020? COVID. And look how it took off. And then it came down. And what did it present? It presented a weekly buy. And it hasn't done anything but truly go up ever since this weekly buy. Does everybody see the weekly buy? Yes? Look. And right now, you're sitting at 11,698 points. Had you bought the NASDAQ in 2023, do you guys understand real quick that the average day trader on Wall Street is hoping for a 10 pip movement per day or 10 points? Okay, if they can take a trade up or a trade down and just get 10 points of movement, they're happy. They're as happy as pig in mud, right? Because they're playing with millions and millions and millions, billions and trillions of dollars. So that 10-point movement is huge. Okay, does everybody understand that? Okay, so if you would have taken a long-term trade back here, I want to give you guys some perspective, and you would have said, I want to buy, and I'm going to buy on a bet of 20, okay, which is, it's decent, but it's not, you know, it's not huge, okay? Does everybody see that number there? Does everybody see what that says? Now, granted, you would not have let this run that much, right? You would have been taking profit along the way, but at a bet of 20 lot sizes, which is 20 is pretty big, but you would have been sitting at an investment of $230,000. Since when? Since 2023. That's just one symbol. That's just one trade. That while everybody was sitting here in 2021 saying, oh my gosh, Biden's the worst president ever. Was he? I think so. But what I'm trying to tell you is that the news is fake. Everything you think that you're being told from the news and crypto and this and that and whatever it may be, it's all malarkey. It's BS. That's why we call this the BS detector. Okay, a couple weeks ago, they dropped the market, right? Look at this. Okay, this was in April. Okay, in April they dropped and everybody was like, oh no, the market dropped. There was all this news. I'm getting all this Apple news, all this crazy news on my phone, right? And the guy who created our system was like, guys, get into these buys. Look at this thing. The system's calling it out. Bobby, what happens when pink crosses blue? Does it go up or go down?
Up, right?
It goes up, right?
Yeah.
It went down. This pink crossed the blue, and it went up. The pink goes up.
Yeah.
What happened to price? Pink went up.
Up.
And look at that. Just from April, it's an $81,000 return. So, okay, hey Andrew, you know what? That's a little excessive. What if I'm not doing that and I'm only doing one? Okay, $4,000. And you didn't do anything but follow the system and let it sit. What can we do here? It doesn't matter. You want to talk about gold? Gold's been going up nonstop. It's going to keep going. Look.
Yeah.
Buy. Same thing. Gold, silver, platinum, Bitcoin. You want to talk about Bitcoin? Again, I'm going back to telling you guys, it doesn't matter what you want to do, what you want to trade, how you want to trade. Do you want it to be more passive? Do you want to be more into the everyday piece of it, right? Like I like to trade minutes and seconds, believe it or not, right? It's like super fast, super rush. The system reads it exactly the same, even on the shorter time frames. I'm looking for the same thing. I'm looking for pink to cross blue. I'm looking for buys. I'm looking for sells. That's all I'm doing. The system, and how does it do this? It does it because the system is fake, right? If this was not all completely manipulated, this system would not work. The creator of this system said, guys, I want you to know, if this was a free moving market, okay, my system wouldn't work. But because it's manipulated by algorithms and AI, I was able to crack the code. Okay, look here, look. 2023, pink crosses blue. What does gold do, right? Or Bitcoin. What does Bitcoin do? This is in 2023. Bitcoin was at 27,000 a coin. I wish. Bitcoin today is at 117,462. And it's going to keep going. Look, this pink is coming back down. It's reloading to do it again. Look what happens every time the pink comes down. Look at pink comes down, price comes down, pink starts going up, and bam. This is the one that happened the other day or a couple weeks ago. Look at what I tell you guys, it was at 80 and some change, right? Look, 84,000 a coin. It's back up. System called it. You would have made $34,000 a coin. That's a 40% return from April to today. This is the time where I wish I was a little bit more cash rich and not equity rich. So I would have been making buys all day long. Now we're getting there. I'm not going to sit here and lie and tell you guys that, you know, hey, I'm just swimming and flowing in all this money and cash. Hey, I'm working on that. I'm getting there. This system is getting us to that place. But now you can't take it away. That's it. Now I know it's manipulated. Now I know how it works. Sometimes I can turn all of this off and I can still see it in my brain because I've looked at it so much. So it doesn't matter. It could be crypto. It can be metals, stocks. The list goes on, guys. Look, I can flip through these and it doesn't matter. This is copper. Okay. Now people would tell me, Andrew, how can you look at copper and not you know read it so fast without drawing lines and using this thing and that thing, all these things that people are using? Well, the system does it. I don't have to spend hours. Look at copper right here, weekly buy, January 2025. Right there, right there, right there. Okay, and we can do this all day long, right? So remember that trading view, right? This thing that you're seeing me do, right, is the frame of the glasses, right? Look at, I just took off the lens. I just took off the lens. I just took off the lens. So now we have a frame of the glasses. And what am I reading here? What am I doing? You want to know what a lot of traders do? I'll show you what they do. This is what these guys do. Good on them. For some of them, it works. Okay, fine. They'll say, hey, it went down this low, and it went down this low, and it went down this low. Okay, so if it goes lower than this line, then I'm going to buy here, right there. Okay, but how do you not know that it's going to keep going down?
Yeah.
This is how people trade. And then they do it here too. And they say, okay, there's this line and there's this line. Well, yeah, those systems work. Look at, you see how it does that, right? But do you know how many times I've done this, right? And watch people do this, and it doesn't work. You want to trade like this? Is this how you, do you want to go through chart after chart after chart after chart, stock after stock after stock, and draw these things out to know what things are doing? Or just say, nah, I don't want to do all that. I'm just going to put my happy lens on and say, I want to flip through this and I want to find come on, get up. Gotta turn this thing off when you're making it. There. I want to turn my lens on and I want to know what it's doing. You see how there were these cells that were here on this one? Look at cells, right? Trying to swim, got 3 people pulling you down. Does it keep going up or does it go down? It goes down. And it did it again, right? This is the hardest part, folks, be honest. Knowing when to take profit, right there, okay? Re-explain the sell and a buy, right? So on the sell, we're betting that something's gonna go down, right? You can take options on that. You can say, hey, I think by this date, price on this stock or this whatever is gonna be lower than what it is at this point, right? So you're looking for that, okay? So sell is a red, 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 green. You got 3 crappy friends that are trying to drown you as you're trying to float, okay? Buys are when you have 3 good friends.
Got you.
XRP. It's just another, just one more crypto. It's huge. Look at this. Look what happened when pink was at the bottom. I watched this fly. I watched it. This happened. This started on election night. I'm sorry to tell you, okay? I'm a big fan of Trump. I'll just say it flat out. You don't have to be, and that's fine. Okay? I'm a fan. You don't need to be. However, crypto was going to go through the roof regardless of who would have won the presidency. Period. And if she would have won, they would have said it was all because of her. He won, and what are they saying? What are they saying? It's all because of him, right? Nope. System called it. Look at the pink. Pink was low on the weekly. Look at these dailies. Look at this. It's calling it right here. Look at daily, bam, daily, bam. This was when XRP was at 53 cents a coin, and now it's $3. My goodness. You could be working at McDonald's and use this system and take these trades and get out of that. Okay. So I know I just data dumped a lot. Stephanie, I know you just kind of got in a little bit. What is XRP? XRP is just another coin. It's another crypto. And XRP is it's gonna keep going. So like right now, Bitcoin and Ethereum, a lot of different cryptos and different stocks and things, they actually like to stay together. They like to stick together. So like Bitcoin and Ethereum, they like to kind of stick together, not in price, but in the way that they move, right? And so Ethereum right now is at 44.80 a coin. XRP, they're expecting to be upwards of higher than where Ethereum is at. Could you imagine buying stuff with XRP at $3 a coin and then getting in every time it drops down low, right? Putting your cash to the side, watching these things come down, and when the pink comes down and then it curls up, you're like, I'm in. Let me ride that wave. I'm in. Let me ride that wave. But let me open it up for questions real quick. I want to make sure that I'm answering questions and not just rambling on.
Can you go over really quick the color scheme for the buys and sells?
Yes. Did everybody hear what she said?
Yes.
Okay. All right. If I'm swimming and I'm trying to dive down, but there are 3 people who are pushing me up, am I going to stay down, or am I going to overpower the 3 Am I going to overpower the 3 and dive down, or are they going to get me to the surface?
Going to the surface.
Going to get me to the surface, right? It's near impossible, right? So again, this is XRP. This is a 4-hour chart. So each of these are 4 hours. Okay. So you got this here. Price is trying to dive down below the surface of the water, right? It dove down, but there's 3 people that are pushing it back up. Price goes back up. Okay. It's doing it again. Okay. And these 3 are pushing this up. You learn over time how to use these 2 as well. Okay. When this one is green like this, when these are green, it's the same as having 2 people in a boat pulling you up with like a hook. So even more so now, that price is going to go up. When it starts to turn, you just got to wait a little bit. Okay. There's some rules that come when this turns red, but for the most part, this is still a buy. It's still going to go up. You know, but you see all this news come in about, oh, XRP had some ETF, blah, 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 whatever article they come out with. And the reality is, doesn't mean anything. It's absolutely nothing. Okay. And look what
And
happens,
so,
right? Pink starts to move. Look how that pink rolled through that blue, right? What you got?
and so the better you learn to read these graphs, you can make money both ways by selling when you know it's going up, or selling when you know it's going down, and
Yep,
buying when you know it's going up.
exactly. And so that's
So money
the
doesn't
thing.
have to be made one way.
See, that's the best part about what I love about the system in trading, right? We are in for a rude awakening over the next 2 to 3 years with the stock market. Okay, I hate to say it. Okay, I'm in real estate. I love real estate, but we're not in a good place, and we're not headed for a good place. I've actually used this system to look up 30-year mortgage rates. Believe it or not, the system's reading it, and they're going to continue to go up or stay where they're at. So all these people that either can't afford or they want to wait it out, right? They can't. They're not going to. Okay. I'm going to show you here. So now oh, it's right there. I don't need to change the time frame. Okay, right here. So on a sell, right? You could have said, hey, I'm going to short Target's stock through a option, which means I'm going to say, hey, today is, what does it say there? 28 January 2025, and I see this, right? And I see that the pink just crossed the blue. Do you see that? And I see that it's 3 red and the green. So price is trying to get to the top. It's trying to swim. It's trying to swim. But these 3 guys are like, where are you going, bro? And they're grabbing the foot. They're grabbing the leg. They're grabbing the shirt. They're pulling it down. Okay. Okay. And that crosses. And you could have said, I think it's at least going to go back to, and I would have, the way that I would have done it is I would have said here, I would have said price at least has to come back down to here, at least, because it already hit that. Okay. So now I'm taking a short or a sell because I've got these red, I've got price trying to swim, and I've got these 3 guys are like, you ain't going nowhere, right? And now I'm going to wait until this pink comes down at least all the way to the bottom, okay? At least. I actually like to wait until the blue comes all the way down to the bottom. So I would have taken profit here. You could have gotten out of some of your options. You could have sold some of them. So if that's the case, right, then I would have made a 7% return on my options, on my sell. And then I would have held some of them. And I would have held the next one until here. And I would have made another 6%. Okay. And then I would have left some for what we call is a runner. And I would have let that thing go because depending on when I pick my option, okay, I'm bringing up some options, Bobby, specifically because, again, for people that are working, that want to learn how to do this, I think options are a good way to do it. Okay. So you would have got in here on the January 29th, and I would have told you to put it 6 months out. Right. So let's see.
Yeah.
Where's 6 months out? Well, that's January. We'd be looking, right? And mind you, as long as it's lower than your price, where you told that you said it was going to go down, as long as it's lower than, you're still in the money. Okay. Obviously, if it goes up, you're less money than where it was here, right? That's how that works. But let's say you had a little runner, right? And you would have got out and said, I'm done because now it's June. That runner would have been a 31%. So you had a 7%, a 6%, and a 31% return. And all you did was read the system, know that it was in a 4-hour sell stop. You would have picked a date and you would have let it ride. Yeah, you wouldn't have gotten your money for 6 months or whenever you decided, right? You took some here. That was a couple of days, right? That was let's see, that was what? It was like the 30th of January. You would have made some money. So 2 weeks. You would have made some weeks. You would have made some money in 2 weeks. You would have taken your profit again another 2 weeks later, and then you would have left the runner to see how far it would have gone. And as long as you got rid of that option before your time, which you could have put it like July, middle of July or something like that, right? As long as you get rid of all of it before your option expires, the time of your bet, that's when your bet expires, right? Again, this is just one way to be able to do it. But I'm bringing this up because I want to speak to the audience with you a little bit so that you understand, right? Of how and what this can do, right? And depending on what you're betting, what you're putting down, and how much each of these costs, that's what gives you your return, right? Bigger the bet, more the return. That's just how it goes, right? Been to Vegas, I'm sure you bet a little bit, played some CeeLo or whatever, right? It just depends on what you're putting, what's on the table, right? What's the ante, right? You can be very little. You can buy one contract. So technically, let's say you would have bought 4 contracts, right? You would have bought 4 for a sell. You could have sold one here. You could have sold one here and had 2 as a runner. Or you could have sold 1, 2, and had 1 as a runner. It doesn't matter, right? And there's ways, that's all operational. That's stuff you got to kind of learn kind of on your own and kind of do all that stuff, right? I'm just bringing you guys the system to show you the power and why I think it's so important to learn and use this and add this, because we got to make money while we're sleeping, right? That's kind of the reality, and not be trying to look at every single aspect every time. Where I've taken trades overnight, woken up in the morning and had money in the account. I took some trades back in late April, early May on some options. And when we were in San Diego as a family, I'm like, hey, look, those things are in the money. Yeah, I could use that $2,000. Let me go ahead and take that money. It was a $500 bet, and I got out at $2,000. $1,500 profit. It was money that kind of, was nice to have, right? Okay, and that was only using the OG system. Okay, I ended up taking a $500 loss because I wasn't using the sniper at that time. Okay, and I was realizing I can't be without this sniper. Okay, because I got into something, it went into profit, but the sniper would have told me that it was on its way down. And so I was only just using this, right? And so this works, but the sniper is called the sniper for a reason. It's pinpoint accuracy. Okay, so now that I've kind of explained a little bit, do we have any more questions? Anything? No? Okay. All right. Now let me ask this. Go ahead and type in, what do you think, because the OG system, okay, just this right here, okay, the channel, this thing, which we call the BOK, it's spelled B-O-K-K, and the OG system here, okay, that tells us green, 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 red, buy, red, 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 green, sell, right? It's based on a yearly subscription. So if you pay, it's a one-time payment, okay? You get it for the year, okay? Mind you, you're buying the lens. So yes, you would have to buy, actually, if you just got the OG system, you could technically get TradingView for free. It's not the greatest option because it doesn't give you a lot of options, pretty much to be able to flip through and different tools and stuff like that. But what would you guys think the OG system costs for the year? One-time payment. Put in the chat. What do you think this is worth? What do you think he's charging for this? Any of my family members who know the answer, don't put it in. Come on, Bobby, put it in there, Stephanie. I know you just kind of joined, but what do you think? What do you think a yearly subscription of this is? $500. You there, Stephanie? All right.
I am here. I just don't know where the chat. Okay, I see it. Never mind. Sorry.
It's okay. What do you
I
think it is? You're unmuted already. What do you think? What do you think something like this would cost to have this kind of power to flip through Target?
I would
What do you
say
think your-
yearly, I would say about 250.
250 bucks for the year?
Yeah.
Man.
No, I would say a little bit more than that, but I'm just trying to keep it in the budget.
Yeah, yeah. We're saying 500 and 250 because we want it to be that, right?
Exactly. Yes.
The reality is I think that he's not charging enough. Okay. And because let me ask you this. Do you think that I mean, you're saying 250 for the year, Bobby's saying 500. Didn't I just tell you guys I took a few options and made $1,500 return just on 2 different ones? That was
Well,
okay.
correct. And I understand that there's money to be made, but for somebody like me or Stephanie that have never done this, it's like almost like a huge risk for us. Like, you know, we don't know how to work it yet. We don't know if we're gonna be able to work it. So someone like us, for you, you know what's gonna be made, so it's no problem whether it's 1,500, 2,000, 3,000, whatever, because you know you're gonna make that money back. But for somebody like Stephanie or I, it's like, dang, is it gonna be worth it? Is there gonna be return on investment?
So the cool part about it is it's for the year, right? So you're talking about spending something and being able to learn for the year, right? Like, could you imagine getting a year to learn how to do this? So even if you spent, let's say, uh, $1,000, right? Let's say you had to spend $1,000 for a year subscription, and you learned it. You didn't make any money, but by the end of the year, you perfected it, right? You didn't do anything real money. You learned how to use the system. You traded with fake money. And by this time next year on your re-up, you're now doing real money. Do you think you're gonna make that $1,000 up?
Yeah.
Absolutely, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, let's get back into that. So I'm gonna actually show you guys what pricing looks like. Stephanie, make sure that we get you the recording. Okay.
Okay.
All right. To do that. Okay, I want to do this one. All right. So for trading view, okay. So for the frame of the lens, okay, or for the frame of the glasses, okay. So that was the system I was just using, right? Just separate. Okay. There's monthly and there's annual subscriptions. Again, there are free options, and they're actually doing a try free for 30 days. So technically get a 30-day free trial on it. Okay. To have the sniper as an extra tool, okay, because that is an add-on from the OG system, you have to have this one here. Otherwise, TradingView won't let you put that lens on the frame. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, you can do a yearly where you save and you pay one time, okay, or you just do it a month, you know, $67.95, and you can go up to ultimate. You can go all the way down to essential if you're like, hey, I don't need this. This kind of tells you what you're getting and what you're not getting, right? I pay the monthly and I do premium because I do have the sniper as well as some other tools. Okay. All right. Now to go to the system, right? So TradingView, so just so you guys know, TradingView, so the core system we were talking about, you guys said 500, Bobby, you said 5, and Stephanie said 250. It's 575 for the year. Okay. So I like pressing that it's a lot more because I'm gonna tell you right now, I do know it's hard to step in when you don't know how successful you're gonna be, when you don't know how well you're gonna be able to use it. You don't know anything about anything, right? It's hard to go and drop $3, $4, $5,000, right, on essentially a business, right, or a new venture, and just hope that it's going to work out, right? That's the reality. And so I love being able to present that Kevin's only charging $575 for this system. Okay. Now, full disclaimer, I'm an affiliate, right? So I've been teaching people and showing people this thing for a while. And there wasn't anything, like I wouldn't get nothing from it or whatever. And so he realized that people were bringing people in and he wanted to honor those people. And he says, hey, I want to do this. What do you guys think? And everybody's thing was, we don't want anything if you can't keep the price the same as what we paid. So what do you think Kevin said? No
I
problem.
don't know. Yeah.
I'm not charging anymore because I want to take this to the world. Okay. I want to go and take the money back from the other people, but I want to honor you guys. So instead of taking it up, this is what I paid. Same exact thing. So he's taken a step back so that we can bring more people in, right? That to me made me even more excited because I was like, I'm not going to share with nobody if I have to get it. If you're going to pay me, but they got to pay more than the other one, like I'm not doing that, right? That doesn't feel good to me. But if you're not going to cost more for the pie, right? Like that to me just speaks volume into how Kevin is. Okay, I've been knowing this guy for 18 months. He truly, truly, truly cares about everybody's well-being on their success of this system. Talk about, we get free upgrade after free upgrade after free upgrade after free upgrade. Okay, so yes, Bobby, you're the winner. Price is right. You said 500. Ding, 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 ding. I'll give you a big hug
That's
and a
enough.
kiss next time I see you. Okay, so 570. All right. Now,
Also, I'm looking at it. Also, I'm looking at it. It's like when you do invest that kind of money, you know, for someone who's just starting, it's kind of like an incentive for yourself. Like, okay, I've invested this, now I gotta make something happen because you do want that return on investment. You know what I mean? So you're not just gonna let that. It's not cheap enough to where you're just gonna let that money go by the wayside. It's enough that you're gonna try to do something for it. You're gonna work hard.
but it's not so expensive where people won't take the leap, right? That's what I love.
Right.
It's doable for the little guy, right? You have to understand,
Right.
Kevin, somebody's going to get wind of Kevin doing this. Now, mind you, Kevin has a goodness gracious, what is that called? A trademark.
Pending.
He has a trademark and he has a patent pending on this system. Okay, he's the only trading system ever in the world, okay, to have a trademark and a patent pending. Okay, nobody else has that. Period. Okay, so and he talked about, do you know? And I remember when he was telling everybody about his process of applying for it. I'm thinking like, bro, why are you doing that? If the government finds out about this, like, there's this young black kid that I know about that's in the Midwest that learned how to turn plastic into diesel. He went missing
Yeah.
like 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if they found him or not, but every time somebody comes up with something that goes against the system, they go missing, right? So for me, when he went and got his patent, I'm like, hey, I know you want that because you want to show that like your system broke the code, but should we be telling people that you broke the code? Like,
Yeah.
you know, there's only about 5,000 of us. He says he's thinking about shutting it down at the 10,000 mark. I think he's probably got a couple of years until he gets there, but he doesn't want to get too big to where they pretty much come after him. I get it. Makes sense, right? So all that being said, if you were to get the trading view, and this is at the premium, but if you just did these two, right? Let's just say you just did this, okay? Because you just wanted, let's essentially say the one-time fee or something, or you just wanted to do the monthly. What I did was I took the $67.95 times 12 month that goes to TradingView. Okay, I don't see anything of that or whatever. I'm an affiliate link, but they just give me like a $15 coupon off my bill. Okay, it comes out to 815 for the year. It's actually 86. It's almost 816. Okay, it means for an entire year of learning how to trade and learning how to do this, if you just wanted to learn and perfect it, it's an all-out investment of $13.91 for the year. Okay. If you wanted to take the sniper on, that's a $250 times 12 months. It is a reoccurring $250 a month. You can cancel it at any time. You don't have to do it for the year. If you do it for a month or 2 months and you're like, hey, I feel like I can do it without that, or I want to try without that, or you want to add it later, you can. Okay. But if you, over the course of a whole year, all expenses, mind you, this is not all upfront, right? It's about keeping the investment upfront low while sharpening the skills to be able to, shake and move and make things happen. If you did this for an entire year, this is what you'd be paying. This is what you would pay. Could you imagine taking 12 months to become an avid and a pretty good idea of what and how to use the system and do that? That's what you'd be looking at if you did all the three of these things. Okay. If you wanted to just see if you could grasp it over the next 30 days, I kind of did this. Buy the core, pay 1 month of the sniper, and a monthly subscription for TradingView, which you can cancel at those at any time, right? This is a one-time fee. You don't get it back. You don't pay it again. It's not monthly, right? So you're already going to do that. You could essentially try everything for 30 days. This would be your total investment, right? If you were like, hey, I want to try it, but at the end of the month, if I'm not getting this, or if I'm just not enjoying it, or it's not me, I'm out, right? That's essentially what you would end up paying for all of those systems. Okay. Now, what do you get for just buying the course? Does anybody have any questions about this real quick?
No.
Good? Nothing? All right. Probably need to move this slide, but it's not a big deal. Okay. You don't need a lot of money to begin. Okay. You don't need to go take $5,000 and put it into an account to start trading. Unfortunately, we know of people who have gone and mortgaged their home, who have pulled out personal loans and thought they knew what they were doing, and they put it in an account and they took a couple trades and lost it. Okay. I want you guys to know that is not what we are talking about. If anything, I've learned so much the hard way that's why I want to be a part of this for other people's journey, because Kevin's going to teach you how to use the system. Okay. But he's not going to teach you all the other things. He's not going to teach you what brokerage accounts or how to use other people's money, or do you need to go and do this, or, you know, I've got other people that are like, hey, Andrew, I've got this 401k that just sits there. Like, it's not doing anything. What can I do with that? Did you guys know that you could take your 401k, move it to a self-directed account, and start using that and taking your own trades instead of leaving it in the hands of the guy next to you, right? Imagine perfecting your trade, and then now you are working your own retirement accounts, okay? There's all kinds of different ways to do this. Now, this all down the line, right? We're not doing any of that until you've perfected stuff, okay? But you can learn this. It's not rocket science. My suggestion to each and every one of you, and this may not make you excited, is you demo trade for 6 months and you practice. What I mean by that is you're trading and you're doing things, and you're taking trades in the system, but you're not using real money. Does that make sense? Okay, mind you, do you see this little blue arrow right here? Everybody see that? Okay, I took a trade right here. Does everybody see what I was reading? You guys see that? You see that? Now one of these turned red. That's because I was really reading this one. I got into this trade this evening. Actually, it was right before 6 p.m. I took it right before 6 p.m. Do you guys see where I'm at? But this is a demo trade. I took this because I wanted to show you guys that it works. I was like, I'm going to find a trade and I'm going to take it. Okay. I meant to show you guys that I took this trade and we would see what it looked like at the end of the training, but I forgot to show you guys. So am I playing real money? Is this real money right now? No, it's not. Okay. But I saw that pink come up. Okay. I know where it's going to go. Okay. I know where it's going to stop at, and it's going to actually go down a little bit more through the night, and then it'll go up tomorrow. But this is what you would be doing. You would be practicing and practicing and practicing and practicing. And so when I tell you, hey, demo trade, that's what this is. This is demo trading. I'm actually teaching somebody right now how to do this consistently, okay? How to do this in her strategy of how she wants to learn, okay? She wants to be more on the day trading, so she wants to be a little bit more faster, right? If you were somebody who's like, hey, I work that 9 to 5, I need to learn how to demo trade the bigger trades, the things that take longer that I don't have to babysit, then that would be the strategy that we would help you go after, right? And you just trade your butt off, okay? You practice, 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 okay? So this is what I mean by right here saying, what do I do? How do I learn this? Well, I would tell you to demo trade for 6 months. And once you get a hang of it, hey, take the gloves off and let's go beat them up, okay? Some get it instantly, some take longer, but it clicks in with practice. That's all I can tell you, okay? It's practicing, it's learning where you made things wrong, what you saw, what you didn't see. When I play the longer time frames, guys, I don't lose. I really haven't lost ever. It's when I play the faster moving things, okay? But that's where the cash is kind of made, right? So that's why I like to play the faster stuff and then take that and then move that over and play the longer term, okay? Mindset is just as important as strategy. Okay, pride will kill you. Bobby, straight up, men have more pride, and the more pride you have in this game, the more you lose. Women are more or have been proven to be better at this game than men because they're more adept to want to follow the rules of it than they are to want to. Whereas, for myself, I'm like, oh, I know what that is. I know what it's going to do. So I'm gonna get in early, or I'm gonna do this. And I turn around, I'm like, oh gosh darn it, why didn't I follow the rules? Okay, so because I know you and I love you, I'm gonna tell you we've got some similarities to us. Follow the rules. You cannot trade emotionally. You have to detach from the money sign and follow the rules. Okay, Kevin teaches you the rules. He tells you to write the rules. When he has a one-on-one with you and teaches you how to do the system, he tells you, watch this video 50 times and demo trade. You think everybody does that? No. Okay, you will make mistakes, but only in this world when you quit, you actually lose all the progress and become fully lost. Okay, so all I have to say is, trade, demo, do all this, keep at it, and when you feel like you've got it down and you know what you want to do and you know the system, then we start going after, okay, how do we start, one, getting my money back, and two, how do I start making good money? Now, I'm going to tell you guys right now, my first day trading, first day, day one, okay, day one. I didn't even have my one-on-one trading with Kevin yet, okay? I made $800 and some, real money, not demo, okay? It was the best and worst thing that could ever happen to me because at that point I was like, this is so easy, blah, 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 right? And I just kept moving, all right? And I got real cocky real quick and I started to let the rules go, okay? So money can be made instantly. Don't get it wrong. You follow the rules, you make money tomorrow. But then you might also create some bad habits with that. If I could say, would I rather you struggle in the beginning and then be successful later? Yes. I'd rather that than early success. But can you have early success? Again, day one, guys, I followed the rules. I was completely new, $800. And I started that with a $2,000 account. That's a 40% in one day. The problem with me was I started twisting and turning and doing this and doing that. And I started to learn more of the mental and emotional. That's what I want people to learn. That's actually what I want to teach. You got to learn to follow the rules. I want to help you learn how to continue doing that and not let the other pieces of all this take over. Okay. Also, the other part of that is play the longer term stuff. Okay. So, all right. Real quick, what do I get with the OG safety trade system? So if I just got the OG system, I just paid for that trading view for that lens, for the OG lenses and got that frame. You get the core system with EMAs, blue lines. We'll explain blue lines later. We have a lot live closed group trainings. You would get your live pretty much with Kevin. So by the system, he puts you on. I think there's one tomorrow, actually, is the 18th. So it'll probably be the next one, which is in like a week or two. Doesn't mean you don't get your system. Doesn't mean you don't start to get playing and doing all that stuff. But you would get your initial training with a closed group. You get access to a Discord group. We all help each other. Man, there are times when we're out and about or I'm not looking and I get a text or I get a thing in my Discord. It's like, hey guys, 1 hour by on whatever, just engage, get in, because other people are watching that. You know how great that is to know that you've got an army of 4,000 friends that are in a Discord. And so the reality is there's some people that post a lot and talk a lot. And then there's others that's just kind of are by the wayside. But the reality is you're still getting the notification. So you might not even seen the trade, right? I see it all the time. It's like, hey guys, thanks for the heads up. I completely missed it. I got in and still made $300. Took my money and ran. Got a runner going, right? Whatever it may be, okay? Non-stop training on TikTok and YouTube. You guys can go and watch him if you like. Obviously, he's on YouTube. But I wanted to bring up, this is what one of the guys just put. This was 2 weeks ago. And so this is inside our Discord. And so this is J-Flow. He is a trucker and he trucks stuff from the East Coast to the Midwest. He does, what he calls it, over the road, right? So he's gone for days at a time, hours, whatever it may be. But big shout out to Kevin, Bree, Keith, John Parker, and all the Safety Trade family that supports the community and are here day in and day out fighting for us all to be successful. I'm an OG STS subscriber. He's been with the system since pretty much Kevin first invented it and started selling it, okay? MT4 was an old system. He's just saying that's how long he's saying he's been with the system. Okay. I've taken quite a while to get this to work for me. Being an OTR truck driver that runs sometimes 700 miles a day, it hasn't been easy to dedicate the needed time to really learn this amazing system. But this year, I really dug in, and I am forever grateful for where I am today and what is coming tomorrow. In the last month, I have taken 10,000 in payouts from prop firms. Prop firms is what we use to use other people's money. We make money. They take a piece of our pie because we're good at what we do. We get the rest. There's 80-20 prop firms. There's 90-10. Okay. I am one day away from a $20,000 payout and have 30 total accounts running that will generate 60 to 80,000 for me by the end of the month. I'm very close to being able to finally spend more of my life with my wife and children than on the roads of North America alone in my truck. I say this to say, if you are new to the system, please don't give up. You will make it if you fight for it and give the safety trade system the time it needs for you to eventually understand. I love you guys, and if I can do it, I know you can. Be encouraged. Guys, some people, they'll get it tomorrow, the day after they start. Some people are working on the side and they just don't have time to look at it all day, right? Whatever it is, the system can work if you put in the time, okay? And some of us are smarter than others, okay? So again, it all just depends on who you are. But the reality is I love my TSTS fan. Now I'm in other groups where we're starting to trade daily, where we're on the call together. We're on Discord and we're having conversations with each other, talking about what we're seeing, because some people are a little bit further than others, right? Where do you get that in this world today? Well, when there's no shortage of success in this game, there's no reason why we don't help each other out. So I just wanted to kind of show you guys that. And yes, is that doable? This is essentially what I'm trying to get to. Some things that are coming soon. He's coming out with a bot. So I'm sure you guys have probably seen that they've got bots that are trading. But a lot of these bots, they still lose a lot and they only post their wins. Kevin's coming out with a bot and he's not going to release it until it has a 90% win rate. 90%. That's crazy. For people that are in the sniper, they're going to get it for stupid cheap. I'm not going to disclose what he's saying about getting it for because I don't want him to change it and be wrong, but it's again, he's not going to be charging what he should be. And then at that point, I'll probably trade, but I'm going to do the long-term stuff and I'm going to let the bot do the short-term stuff, that cash flow. And I'm just going to take long-term buy and holds or long-term sells on stuff. Okay, and then that's it. Okay. That is it. That's all I've got. You got any more questions? I'm going to, well, pretty much everybody in here knows me and has my personal info. If you are interested in moving forward, hit me up with the text. I can send you the links to these things. If nobody has any questions, April, I know you kind of came in late. I will get you this recording. This one was being recorded, and we're going to get this out to some folks. And so if nobody has any questions, yes, there will be recording. I'll get that back out for sure. All right, folks. Well, I appreciate you guys taking your Sunday and doing this. Again, it's up to you on which pill you're going to take and whether we go down the rabbit hole or not. So I hope to see you guys on the other side. All right. All right, guys.